inside. Jolinton didn't really react to the pass. Assini was dummying it, thinking someone's immediately to his right, but they weren't, and West Ham recovered possession of the ball. Now have it now down the left-hand side. Jesus, Presencio Somerville is galloping forward. Has support as well. There's Bowen. Bowen and truly well running it's on the post. That was a rasp for friend Jared Bowen. Little Punk was beating the lanes up. Trennan off the inside of the post and away to safety. Another let off for the visitors, who now come over the halfway line themselves with Gimerich to Jacob Murphy. Murphy, what else show? The sports. Well, what else? The fight. Football. 10 seconds. Maybe 35 seconds after they might have gone behind. Newcastle come down the other end of the field. And that kind of should go into a foul corner from the right-hand edge of the box. Jared Bowen looks aghast. He can't believe that he didn't score at one end. But now they conceded at the other. Jacob Murphy strikes the first blow for the men in green. It's West Ham United 0, Newcastle United 1. With, I don't think, another West Ham player touched the ball after Bowen's shot. And they worked it 3 middle of the pitch. Out wide to Murphy. He went inside and then outside. Shot from a yard outside the box. And Alphonse Areola couldn't get across with his right hand. And West Ham are behind again at the London Stadium. Having a look at Bowen's shot, which started all of that. It bowled away from Mick Pope and crashed against the upright. And less than 35 seconds later, West Ham were undone at the other end. So they trail again. Alphonse Areola with a long ball forward. Onto the BigMatch who can't control it, and it's out for a throw. While Nuno Espirito Santo won't be able to believe his luck, or his ill luck, in this particular case. Inches from big in front. No sooner had he blinked then Newcastle had scored. When your luck's out, bid's out, but West Ham told the Stillwood to let that kind of thinking dwell with them, because they start to feel sorry for themselves this afternoon. This Newcastle side can surely take them apart. Wan-Bissaka with a throw, concedes possession, is lofted to the halfway line. Tadiba is across, he's being put under pressure by the goal scorer Murphy. Turns away from Murphy. I'm going to place it back to Areola. All in yellow. Areola had kicked the ball up the field early in the piece from the kickoff, and I think his next touch was to pick the ball out of the net. So, nearly 7 minutes gone. West Ham 0, Newcastle United 1. Here is Mets Tillman, just over the halfway line for the home side. It's been harassed and harried by Joe Linton and Fontamana. And this is getting that to Tadiba. A long ball forward, and just watch that go over his head. It's the deadman line for goal kick. Well, sure, probably looked really nervous in the tunnel, and now he looks agitated. The way the fates have conspired against his side early on, he's trying to some direction into his team. The West Ham fans stunned to silence. There are no pretty bubbles in the air at the moment at the London Stadium, I can tell you. Any bubbles before kickoff would be well and truly burst by that early goal. Was out on this new side. It's thrown to West Ham. Aaron Wan-Bissaka will take. Now, quite demonstrative in the dugout, despite his side taking an early lead. You might want to be taking anything for granted. He said before kickoff that The away form is the last piece of the puzzle. Prince started to try and solve. Well, they've made a good start. Here is Juff on the first side. Laying it infield to Lucas Paqueta. To Juve. Can side for West Ham. It's a once more. It's a pass back to Freddie Potts. Mielmet's Kilman. And we're all into Wan-Bissaka, and he backfield to Jared Bowen on this near touchline, the West Ham right. Look back to the left, it's Potts once more. Now, Malak Juve. Meta. Kilman, that's nice. Just been a little turn as well by Mateus Fernandes. Well, it was played through again. New king for Fernandes. May comes to Callum Wilson. Who was in the shot? It's parried away by Nick Pope. Punch would have saved the Pope, but nobody will be more aware of Callum Wilson's threat than the Newcastle United boys. Having played Thornton for some 5 years, but of course it was me that he held not only Newcastle but Bournemouth, so I knows him better than almost anyone. Well, stretches are upheld on that occasion. There's Jorgensen on the halfway line for Newcastle. Now, Hansen Derby. Good body. The chance of Lunds in field. Sends a diagonal pass backwards to Tonali. Here's Gimareich. Non-Murphy, the goal scorer. He was almost shunted off the ball by Juve. Newcastle have obtained possession. There's Tonali just inside the West Ham box. Sweeps a move from right to left. And for the second hit, gets there before Anthony Gormtu. But then only goes back as far as Sven Botman. To that barely stare and having seized the lead, Newcastle in different position of the ball. That's a good challenge though by Wan-Bissaka, which rends the ball for Bowen. Wan-Bissaka continued on the overlap, plays it inside his Bowen again, goes for the shot, Brookdale, penalty kick. Penalty to West Ham. I think Chenel's the man guilty of the foul. It's Bowen in a crankle deep in the penalty area. But Rob Jones had no hesitation and pointed to the spot. Well, I think VAR didn't have a look at that. I really do. Because I think Chell against the ball. What gut reaction you king up in replay is that Chell gets a piece of the ball. And if that's the case, that's not a penalty. So that'll be a task for Dave Howard in the VAR hub. I'm pretty sure Chell's got a touch on that. Well, I'm sure they are in conversation with Rob Jones. The Newcastle players gathering around the penalty spot. Well, I think there's a clear touch by Chell. I think he touches the ball. Still, if he makes any contact with Bowen, I think this may be overturned. It knew it from Rob Jones' position as if it was a penalty, but it was almost directly behind the place where the touch occurred. I'll be very surprised if he's not sent to the screen there already well, because I think Schaub has got a touch of the ball there. Still checking VAR, but I think the touch and the tongue of Malik Channel did a touch on this ball before Bowen goes over. It was a good run by the West Ham catching. Well, he's been sent to the screen to have a look. That's not a great surprise. He's still in conversation with Paul Howard as he makes his way out of it to the monitor. I think this is going to be overturned. I think we'll be getting an announcement in a minute which says there was a touch on the ball. Because the touch on the ball is very clear. After the ball diverts, it lays from the foot of Bowen. It's a definite touch. In my view, there's no way that this penalty decision should stand. It's actually a really good challenge by Chow. In wide view. Still looking, Rob Jones, though. There seems to be an element of deltedness, but I always think he's got a touch on the ball. I expect this to be overturned. If any of you are looking at a screen, you would have given me your view of it. Ellis_red on it. Ellis_red on it. ELLIS_red on X. I'm pretty sure, at least to no one else in the crowd, that after review, there's a touch on the ball. And this is going to be overturned. No penalty. Way on with a corner kick. Well, Jarrett Bowens is what is a corner then, because the Newcastle player got a touch on the ball. He's quite right about that. It should certainly be a corner. Should absolutely certainly be a corner. Because the last touch came off Malik Jow. So it should be a corner kick. We're going to get one more look at this in slow motion. Well, the beat comes off Chow. And if you start a touch on the ball, it's definitely a corner kick. Well, the referee, if there's, you're going to give a goal kick. Well, I don't understand that at all. I really don't. If the defenders touch the ball to take the ball away from the striker, and the ball's gone over the dead ball line, and you've initially given a penalty and then reverts to a decision, why on earth is that not a corner? Well, yeah. Answers via tweet, Ellis_red on it, if you understand that, because I don't. I think that's total nonsense. They got the penalty decision right. It's another West Ham at Burner was fragile ridiculous. Anyway, there's Crescencio Sunderville. West Ham had to try and draw some sort of inspiration from that, but played another ball into this right-hand channel, but that one's too low. Wilson can't get onto it. Hope gets onto the ball, and his long throw out releases Anthony Gordon. Wouldn't Sherrill did though, by both Fernandez and Wan-Bissaka. And he's eased off the ball. As West Ham come out of defence once more. Hillman, nice loose from then. It's beaten another great header from Kraft. Yeah, well, in you would love the dead one for Dalkate. But West Ham fans will feel that the fates are against them. We hit the post only to fall behind 45 seconds later. And now they had a penalty awarded, which has been rightly, as it turns out, overturned on review. Alphonse Ariola with a dog hit. Onto the hit of Malik Chow. Chow hits it forward once more, but Newcastle sailed to gather it in. Lucas Paqueta. It's right his head for West Ham. There's some left into deception. Maurice Tadipo. Tadipo to Fernandez. He's sent spinning. Clear free kick to the home side. On that far side, their left. Already taken. That's Tillman. And the Saka. Fox with the middle forward. And Dawson tries to hold it up. He's bunted over from behind by Slim Botman, but I think the offside flags gone up against Chelsea. So should be a free kick to Newcastle. Right, the other way round. Shimon Vertinali. It's Slim Botman. He sweeps the ball left to right. And the Kraft put out a play by Crescencio Somerville for a throw to the visitors. Who's threading that to Nat Chell. Given international. Fantastic job since arriving from DC Milan. Rizal on this near side. It's always there. Vieras. There's Kilman. Long player to Debo. Since blanched. Juth. Lending to one away by Shell. Sinali turns nicely. Away from his marker. Sit up again. Knocks it to this near side. Then to be Gordon. He's got Wan-Bissaka in front of him, and So it's enough to take the fullback on. Plenty that today between one-to-one tacklers and the speed of being. Here's Fontaine though, who's won a tackle. It's going to break there. Yeah, this shot is Sunville swaddled around the post by Arianna. To be diving in the way, but managed to get something on it and deflect it wide. That would be an embarrassing moment for Alphonse Arianna. Just diving away to his right. Maybe it took a flick off the defender, and that's what deceived him. He managed to get a left hand down and put it behind. West Ham, 9 goals conceded from GoalFest this season. Maybe he's conceded more they've conceded each twice as better as anyone else. Can they repel this set piece? In it comes into the centre of the area, just beyond Dan Burn. It's retrieved by Gordon. It will send it to Kim once more. Headed away by Paqueta. Shot from distance from Jake Murphy. Step back in again by Gordon. Header won by Dan Burn. Burn jumps for another header. The middle which then had to break out with Crescencio Somerville, but he's run out of ditch on their far side and is held for a throw to Newcastle. Nerdy descending of that set piece. Dan Burn has gone down, which will be of concern to the Newcastle players. I think he's just got an impact hit. Seems to be a whack on the thigh to me. Let's have a look. Anyway, what did his leg kick in the ground. He's footballing a little, but he's up and running. Newcastle fans, we hope the Matt doesn't amount to him too much. One move to headed away by Bernie. Maxwell to play that. Fontaine, big thing over backwards, still manages to keep possession for his side. It's good play by him. Played out wide now. Kraft is on the overlap. Start to play it backwards though. And it now comes back into the centre circle to Sven Botman. Fit Burn directed Botman to play it in away from him, so no, still feeling that injury. Worked it out to the right hand side though. Newcastle cross comes in. Hitting the weights at the edge. Cleared by Crescencio Somerville. Bowen is giving chase. Burn goes across to Botman goes across to try and tidy up. In shot, it's under his foot now. Press road to West Ham. Jared Bowen is on to that throw. He leaves it for Wan-Bissaka. Moves inserted himself into a more threatening area. He was trying that to say to Fernandez. Billman knelt to Potts, who nearly overran the ball, and now he's given it away. The referee's blown for a foul. Newcastle say they were breaking the way anyway. Why didn't the referee play on? Should have break the challenge actually by Freddie Potts, straight through the back of his man. Smith just Sandro Tonali down, ponding with top of his foot. So another bit of a worry for the Newcastle bench. He's the Italian from the day. It's sort of got to a kneeling position. Just Tonali on the halfway line. Yeah, just this Hobbs' momentum took him into Tonali. There was any malice of faith in water or anything of that nature. The said. He stood near foul. That's a free kick to Newcastle, in the centre circle. Freddie Potts, of course, the son of Steve Potts. Servant at this time for many years. Punch. 99 with appearances, Steve Potts. Here's Miller He's across from the right. It's to Debo and goes behind for a corner from the free kick. So West Ham have another set piece. The defenders we pass the midway point the first half here at the London Stadium when the Flash will enable me a quad-free service on this Sunday afternoon here in the UK. West Ham 0, Newcastle 1. Jacob Murphy's another goal, separating the two sides. In comes the corner from the right, headed away by Freddie Potts. Nips out on the far side for his front to Newcastle. Vranost is to take. Spend 27 30 yards through with here to Thrag. Still offensive stalwart. Newcastle United trying to squeeze West Ham into their final third. Jacob Murphy. But Yetwas just about retained possession. I thought they missed a fail to do so. Hector was the man that was brought to ground. Their free kick to West Ham, just sort of their left branch spot. Espirito Santo. Choose on. Nervously. This side traded once more. We're about far behind in terms of shots and shots on target. It's a lofted team forward. Hope comes out to a big player because WestHam is in danger of reaching it before the two centre backs. Fernandes loses out to Joel Linton. Once we called him this done to the Brennan, but Newcastle still left done. With Duckman, Watman, Sononi in the central area. He's wrestling off the ball. Get played out by Bots. There's Bowen to the edge of the penalty area. Some looking to turn. Lays it to Paqueta. Paqueta from a narrow angle across the area. It bounces off the top of the bar. Having taken a flick off Joel Linton. Has gone behind for a corner kick. The last touch was off Joel Linton. It's just deep play by West Ham. It's good strong running by Philip Wilson. Was the getter offside? Did the flag go up against it belatedly? I wonder. Yes, it did. It's cross hit Joel into the belt on top of the crossbar. But Keita got a friction too soon. And therefore, the free kick was given against the Brazilian. 59 caps for Keita for Brazil. 12 goals. We stand to do with one of those now, really. Oh, they've been hustled off the ball again, Newcastle. Flying around at the back. Here is Keita, looking to twist and turn. Newcastle players funnel back quickly. The second L of the ball in is a dangerous cross. Great header. Great defensive header by Chow. Boost on that out of play. Encio Somerville to the left of the penalty area. But Maqueta. His attempted cross is half blocked. Now it comes to Bowen. Bowen attempted to go outside his man and Boblin considered the corner. When it was good play, it was a lovely tantalising cross. Wan-Bissaka. Welsham was plunging in. Would have had a free header at the back post. Monichel framed his net and got something on the ball. Eventually Newcastle smothered it behind, but that one cut him from playing around in dangerous areas. Center from the left, in it swings. Punch from Hunt. He can get much on there. Newcastle have put it away as far as Wan-Bissaka. And Murphy will now play it further clear. Wan-Bissaka retreats back into his own half to sweep up as Golden looks to put him under pressure. Further is back with Alphonse Ariona. Drifts the ball up to the halfway line. Nicely shifts it off by Belsi into the path of Jones. He finds himself on the right-hand side. Quite sure how that managed to happen. He's worked his way back to the left now. Freddie Potts. 6 neat start at him. It's Kilman. 12 away from the challenger Baltimore. We've not seen much of him so far in the game. Use John Clare to Debo. Pops once more. Chip the centre circle. Moves slowly for a moment. It's a breath. It's Jim. To Dingo. Debo to Pillman. Down hit that way right to Ariona. And that. Situ to the halfway line. Nicely chips it down by Paqueta. Still facing his own goal. Now under pressure from Tonali. Shell Juice and now Potts. Who run the ball forward towards the halfway line. And he's up to his right and Kilman. Kilman's having one touchline and Wan-Bissaka. Burns slipped as it tried to gain this position, but it was up Menolby. Yeah. Super, let's play it. It was Duke, yes. Being in the ball and dangerously. Hunt punches. doesn't get much on it. And Cynthia Somerville can't shing at his free tail. Who was he might have been able to study that towards goal. But Newcastle have lost the ball again to West Ham. The police competing in Brett's ways like nothing in recent defeats to Leeds and Brentford. Jordy Moore is an assist for today. It's Juve and now Somerville. Hitter to Potts. It's a once more. So trying to tease his way the old Demarish. Juicy lofts the ball into the penalty area. Comes to the far side. It was heading for Bowen. Gordon the back track well. Slick headed it over the near sideline. Throws to West Ham. 29 minutes played at the London Stadium. West Ham 0. He fell to 1 on the fresh live on the commentary service. Thanks for your company this afternoon. And appreciate every listener we have. Here come West Ham again with Somerville. Possibly bumped over. That'll be a free kick. Be a free kick in a dangerous position. He's himself looking for Bruno Guimaraes. Shouted in Newcastle captain. He's the first name taken by Rob Jones. Righty so. Let's no attempt to play the ball from Guimaraes. She just bundled into the back of Somerville. Seeing news with again with where Somerville Tvertikurian Shudik is now on LigaInggris critic. This is a dangerous position from Newcastle's perspective and a decent chance for West Ham. It's just left the centre, to that level with the left edge of the D, and it's Lucas Paqueta who is going to tee this one up. Hardly surprisingly, Thiamane Guimaraes is going to lie down behind the ball. Where will Paqueta go? Goethe outside and try and beat him with power, or will he attempt to strike at the other side of the ball around third and into the other corner? Here is Paqueta, tries it love, good save, but tried to be put a void to his left, and the goalkeeper got away and pushed it round the post. It's a fine stop. It's a low skidder. He's going in that corner. Definitely goal bound. Think he took a little deflection as well off Tim early, so it's even better save by Pope. His position was under threat when Aaron Ramsdale was signed in the summer on a loan from Southampton. Lama did me say Pope would leave, but he stayed and kept the number one shirt. Here's the corner from Potts. Then it comes. It's over everybody to the edge of the penalty area in Somerville. Somerville makes room for the shot. Let's try. It's taken a deflection. I think there'll be another corner to West Ham. But they did smell the hosts. They've responded well to going behind. Given their recent history, you would have both expected that they might have thumbed it in the wake of that early goal. She kept coming so soon after they hit the post themselves. But they've actually responded very well. Here's another corner from the right from Potts. Into a dangerous area, tipped over by Pub. Good header by Kilman. Pope was equal to it. It was a powerful header. Straight at Pope, really. He took the chances and tipped it over. West Ham are knocking on the door. Didn't know the spirits of Southampton. It's a little flat, but shakes his head at the same time. In comes another corner. He's got some point, it's one away for a throw. And try and get 10 or 12 yards up the pitch. They're under the cosh at the moment, the Newcastle. They're much vaunted defence being tested out here. As West Ham knock on the door. Here's Fernandez, sweeps it to his left. I'm not sure Juice could have picked that in on the far side. So that was untidy. It imparts the idea of trying to spread the play, but fortunately didn't come to anything. It's from Newcastle. should have been in the West Ham, which should have been in their own half, but they stolen about 8 yards into the West Ham half. So they must have stolen about 12 yards of that throw. Quite sure what the assistant on the far side was doing. Not very much. Infinite thought. Silverwood headed back by Wilson. No lofty throw from Somerville, but it's should started him. That came out, let all that pass in. Well, I hope they did then line. Is it taking a flick off a Newcastle player, I wonder? It's Wilson who is waving his players forward. No, it's a goal kick. As we suspected. 34 minutes gone here. That's the end. They've got Manchester City and Bournemouth coming up after this. We'll have the coverage. What's that? Here on the official live audio commentary service. But in the meantime, a really thorough to Newcastle into the West Ham half. We've certainly rare in the last 20 minutes. I suppose or anything. With Brisbane through to Areola. Left-footed. Up in the balls with Colin Wilson. He wanted a foul, he didn't get it. But plays it back to Bocknell. He was just thought of his deed now. He's doing it to Shell. Schmeller's been sealed, he's intercepted by Potts. And once again, Newcastle pinned into their own half here at the London Stadium. I think 1-0, but they're definitely to the Kosh. This presents here to Somerville, faced by Kraft. Wolfs into the penalty area, punch away again by Pug. Headed down by Fernandez, shot from Bakata. Little Gus Bakata has thing on his way to the goal. Humphries beaten, and West Ham's pressure reaps reward. The hammers are level for the London Stadium, and Lucas Bakata has lasted to 1-1. Nick Pope plays in, he should have done better with that. We'll have a look on the replay. But West Ham have got the goal that their pressure at the last 15 or so minutes has merited. But Salty planned it when he fisted it away. But the Tessa let fly. And Punt was beaten away to his right-hand side. Maybe there were too many players in front of him. Be absolutely arrowed into the bottom corner from Lucas Paqueta. He's fit that beautifully. I don't think there was a lot that Pope could have done about that. West Ham is midly level. West Ham fans, raise your voices. That's only the second, the third 12th done the West Ham have scored season. And why have they been worth it? 1-1 at the London Stadium. 9 minutes to half time. And the Puppies are in the air once more. A wonderful goal from the Brazilian Lucas Paqueta. Wonderful stuff. She's first start of the season. He's third in the Premier League. He's brought his side into 11 terms. The Newcastle defence has been dissed. Although the later response be, there's Anthony Gordon. Winding down the left-hand side. Each to cross the ball. It balloons up. Off the boot of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. To the hands of Alphonse Areola. Was a very different feel to life in the stadium after that goal. But Cinema heard that and really have. Kevin Wilson's been penalised for a push. Kicking away a free kick just inside the Newcastle half. They've been banging on the door, West Ham. They'll had the penalty overturned when Bowen clashed with Malik Chow. And then both Patenta and Kelvin had bumped close. And finally, Keta found a way to go. Newcastle. It's a clutch really since Liberty's goal. They one other shot that Alphonse Areola turned aside for a corner. They've been strangely subdued, having got in front. I have to change gear again. First Ham to try and ride the crest of the uplift in the stadium that they got from that goal. Won themselves another free kick for a pull on Jared Bowen. So, pulled on to by Dan Byrne. So, free kick come to nothing. It's skip, sorry to Pug. Sent Byrne on his way. Dummied by John Linton. Here's Sandro Tonali. Nerty now. That's the ball. Here's Gordon. Oh, it's a good save by Alphonse Areola. I was expecting the net to bulge. Gordon let fly, but broke 20 yards in a central position. And Areola got down really well to turn it aside with his right hand. Just about going round the post. There's a really good save there. Keeps the small level at 1-1. Well, anybody that thought this would be a horror affair between the quick descent and the side that fails to score many goals, taking a bit more role, which has been an excellent game. In comes the corner, headed away. Why, Philman reaches Fernandez on the far side. Fernandez lays it back to Julius, who whips it low. It really is a Hail Mary of a titch. Steadied it back into the West Ham half, but Paqueta picked it up. We looked to lay it through for Somerville. Even while he was craft, West Ham continued to need them more threatening in many ways. Comes out on the far side. Chiefs the beat was split. It was meant to get a free kick, and the referee said no. Now take your eyes off this game of football. This Dan Byrne stepping it forward. Trying to see Gordon to parted Botman. Pass to Tinami. To his right is Chell. Chip reverses to his halfway line. Should pass it in for Guimaraes. West to Tinami. He should finally get some touches at a bung there and re-establish themselves in this contest. Just they've been knocked out of stride by West Ham's response to going the Hoynes. Well, West Hammers have got level. Fontamana touch. Sits with Guimaraes. It's Murphy. Murphy trying to shot. Always rising. Just goes down to the top. For a gold hit. Turn. Just sailing away from the ball. Was Murphy as he struck that. Yes, it's sent it into the air. Here we're going to top my bar. West Ham 1, Newcastle 1. 4 minutes plus stoppage time. Away from half time. I swear, don't West Ham fans can have too much reason to complain about their side today. It's been absolutely no lack of effort from West Ham. Quiet themselves well after having a missed tune of Sterling Levoy and Sippers after digging the post at other end. Heiser has fired them level. Seen 2 excellent goals. Plenty of incident. And only this throw it to Sven Botman. It sends it splitting. And Chippel. Or it sends it to Botman. Botman. Get on the line for Byrne, who's miles forward. Byrne, inching its seat with John Linton. John Linton on the overlap. Each to play a bit across. Tillman is in the way. And we'll go out for a quarter kick to Newcastle. Did better since the down. That's a 1-1. Didn't hit back for 16 or so minutes before that equalising goal. They've now managed to get themselves back up the picture a little. Then they do something from this set piece. Played it short. It did 10-0 by Tonali towards the back post. Fisted away by Areola. It's a really good punch by Din. Certainly the last 2 minutes. No chance slips to a tenant down the left-hand side. Played it up the line towards Bowen. Poke is alert to danger. Races through his goal and wedge it back into the West Ham halves. West Ham do it again from deep. Moves to Lucas Paqueta. Scored with the equaliser. the ball inside to Freddie Dots. Up Smedel, the one with halfway line. To Matthias Fernandez. And Modisaka inside Somerville, but Bicep once more. Fernandez on the right hand touchline. Rebisaka continued his run. Want to turn the ball across. I think he's kicked it against his own foot. And therefore itself a goal kick. But then it got across to shut the space down, but in the end he didn't need to make a challenge. Kimmerlife's known for Newcastle. This event is Bottom. And just Shamani. Shamani dinks my out to the far side. Bit of a Craft down the line to Mercy. Chadiba was at cross and then waited throw. 10 yards from the corner flag. And a minute plus stoppage time remaining. There'll be a little bit of stoppage time because obviously there was the VAR controversy under the penalty that Mrs. Thingshu over at Tottenham. But will throw the ball in. Shows it down the line to Gimeraj. That's Craft again. Inside to John Linton. John Linton works it backwards. Luton said penalty area, headed away. Combination of Tadibo and Wilson. And way very far now. This Butman swinging the ball in again. Worth the back post. So to the head of Joe Linton. Dozier over the far side. So a throw in to the insane. Winning Burn the retreat man. So it's the halfway line. There's one or two people make their way up the steps at the Burn Stadium. Fortunate to be first in the queue for a half time. Frink and a pie. It was Stonewall then won a pie. It's quite that you need this of London, but it's kept chilly. From in the air. 8 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the half though. Order is Jacob Lurthy. He's going to make it to the byline here and put the cross in. Tadibo hits it up to the edge of the area. Reese back in the box, Bethel being yachted clear. Milson tusks for him at Botman. Man wins out, gets them inside. That's a good turn by John Linton. John Linton tries to steer it in the corner. It's another good shave by Alfonso Rihanna. He's had a pretty good half, else to be said. Mistake by another few earlier on, but he's made several fine saves. Both goalkeepers have been in really good form in what's been a sparkling first half at the London Stadium. Still a minute of stoppage time. Corner from the right, and it comes. Somebody's gone down in the penalty area. Play goes on. And the Hitchland's got up for an infringement in the box. He felt him out and pushed. He seems to have fainted in his direction. There's Concrete. That's a kick to West Ham. They'll flub Zuriona. So, save the kid. White-footed, over the halfway line. Show. Slightly to move back to the Western and Bath. Only other comes out, plays an up and under to the halfway line. Rockman will hit it single. John Linton very needed waited his way and managed to take evasive match in the last moment. Nicely called and wrenches onto the loose ball. Did from Tamada. John Linton and belted to Gnarly on this near side. The Newcastle left. Lets the ball boys ahead of him. There's a clash between Gordon and Kilman. Who's for the help on this near side. Ball went down to the ground. Throw to Wedge 10. And did that and sort of warms up to the top of his feet there. So adjusted that to back to his feet. Let's see Gordon. So the third offensive season so far they didn't come in the Champions League. More in the Premier League this season. Put forward by West Ham. Sort of some dark play, but it pulled back infield. Shaw headed it on. Rutherford stabbed it singlet that Baltimore has been beaten to that day. Chase it, Debo. 2 minutes of stoppage time left in the first half. Here is Somerville. Making progress down the left-hand side, faced by Bruno Guimaraes. Inside to Fernandez. Back to Somerville. Found a bit of space for the shot. The Pope's behind it. Holds on. Keep played by Somerville. Really did the space for the shot. And just didn't get it far enough away from Pope to really test him. Really has been an excellent first half. Killed the number of chances created. There have been also a lot of excellence from Tonali. Snaps straight play for a throw. Lists on the far side. Western left. But a minute of stoppage time left in the half. Or a minimum of a minute. Is there time for one more chance? Well, there might be. That is where the sack is in on the right hand side. There's always been deflected in. His cross has been deflected in. Bosch, their involvement. And West Ham have completed the turnaround and taken the lead on the stroke of the interval. He's another ball out on right inside. The cross came in. They didn't look to be in any danger. The plank, of course, was following the ball across his goal. Botman's somehow stuck a foot out and it's deflected inside the post with Pope helpless. So West Ham United and only scored 1 goal up in the season, but they won first half goal lose season home on away. They've settled showing 1.5 at London Stadium, and they lead by 2-1. Does a first win that won this season Deccan, the Nuno Espirito Santo, and will Newcastle's Premier League run trip woe be about to continue? We'll barely have time to kick off here before Rob James blows the half-time. I'm not quite sure how you sum up this half, I'm really not. He's literally blown within 1 second of the restart being taken. Well, no, he's actually said it needs to be taken again. So it's been taken again. It's played all the way back to Chell, who's still playing on. One ball thought from Chell. Any thought but Burn. With Valtabada. And now Guimaraes. Emil Murphy. Chipped across the goal. Way by Wan-Bissaka. And out on this near side for a throw. And there is the half-time whistle. Well, as I say, I don't know how you sum up a half like that. It all started after 5 minutes when Jared Bowen crashed a shot against the post. And 35 seconds later, Jacob Murphy lashed one past our Zariona to put Newcastle in front. But then was then awarded a penalty for a foul by Chell. But on review, the decision was overturned. We had saves at either end by Areola and Pope. Pope saves notably from Ketter and Kilman. But West Ham turned the game around and managed to find an equaliser courtesy of a wonderful free kick from a Ketter. And then in the death throw to the bar, deep into stoppage time, a crash from Aaron Wan-Bissaka was inadvertently proposed on goalkeeper by Sven Botman, and therefore struggled West Ham winning at half-time at the London Stadium by 2-1. All the bubbles appear to be in. in the next break in play in the Sabian share. Running up into Shell, that seems to plunge to the wide back position to allow Share to come in at centre back. More inside Sven Botman. So, Hell. Certainly, it's been a thought one against Bigman, missed the other one that's been off the half time. So, both substitutions from anything. Just a recap. One was on the far side. Stigridge tap. Church of Ramsey, Ian Oscillant, the Serbian Share on the pitch. And should be brought in with Valtamana. And Emil Kraft. Loves to Newcastle. Switched down, trying to break through what it started the second half. Chell reached it up. To Mick Pope. And the Newcastle goal. Substitutes at left time. Hope should solve the Hetzes. Was it free kick? I must admit, I did think that when I first saw the incident, but looking at the replay, I'm not so sure. Stevenson, Shim, base from Beavis, but Herta. Lakeland West Ham again, and Fallon Wilson. The ball out wide to Jared Darwin, who's running up against Dead Burn, coming into the box, and Presencio Somerville attempts this spectacular across the front of his defender. Didn't direct his centimeters on target. He shared it enough just to put him off. So Sheridan's been infantile by what me and Shell. Seems to the out of him in the second half anyway. But maybe better that Shell had done himself a mischief if he's been singing breeze as if he'd symphonies and mates, but it's he didn't now. Threw it to Guimaraes was laid off. Suppose the new direction of Mercy could never need like reaching in. And also need to rouse themselves from a slumber that's taken them in the last, certainly in the last 25 minutes of that first half. It was no surprise to see West Ham at half time. A response from Newcastle United when the left hand side cross comes in. It's stuffed away somewhere. Mighty Dino up there to clear. It's again by Newcastle. Around the set, they can clear this one from the right back position. Hitter, most dwelt on it too low. Wished to step the ball back to Kilman. Made it clearance. When view of the Redshift when the second are under pressure from Dan Burnham. The second, which second clearance. Cheryl back into the penalty area. I was in way through to that on Teriola. Well, it should only be noted that Eric Oda made an outstanding side in the third half. Mr. Murphy when the score was 1-0. Arthur had certain to score. The quad in and they plunging it up. We might have done very decent game something. This is it is. Newcastle have turned the game down. West Ham have turned the down right on the lead 2-1. And Sadra Janali. Sadid Shearer. Shearer. That's Subsan was up to Shearer on this near side. Velford wide. Murphy. It's a Guimaraes. Guimaraes back there. And Murphy can't get on to it. Had to wait by Somerville. Hits and out goes down. He was sandwiched between Tinali and Chell. Rick said the channel was fair though. Is Jacob Ramsey playing the ball forward. Look to Guimaraes. His attempt cross gets due. Look what's it, Debo. Then finish of start. It's 7.5 of the front foot. Get the impression that in what there's something of a rocket. More time from Daddy there up to give that they made the 3 substitutions. Well, had nothing some shape of response here. All those forward. I'm a second against his head on it, but it does reach Dan Burn. And then inside to Ramsey. Was that to Burn again? Shell just through the centre circle. Shell is to his right. Shell plays it inward, that's loose. It's running through to Sansariola. The game down. Ariola. Should be with Civil War. Let's WestHam nil. So this had to script the to the number 1 spot, being stuck for a long time with Sabianski, who's now at the club. They weren't a coaching capacity, a playing capacity, and that was registered as a player. Then Surrey this season, he was behind Sam and Sue, but on one shot, I think they'd been happy and applied there again now as a ball is lofted forward. Catches it. Oh, this head. Sharp, sick. Tremendous person. Towards the front, South Ontario. Let's get that. Season there. But there's PSG and Real Madrid, not very many times, but he done it in the host two clubs on their CB. And serves for credit now. Should we do a stand? So it's near side to Somerville. It's quite sudden. It's the byline, it's it. But Frost in, which should have positioned your cities. I want to see how quickly to Denver, and when this 8 minutes, Sycamore played already. Stone 2, Newcastle 1, there at the Dempton Stadium. It's used at the 2012 Olympics, of course. Snurvestin, if it's trapped in case, but government and a meeting which is starting to bring in to Newcastle, so pull on the shirt. Here's Guimaraes, and no mercy. He's got Osler running down the left-hand channel, seems to the left-hand side of the area. Here is Osler, trying to get it onto his wide third. Some sort of shot in, but spreads it right across the pitch. And see out on this near side for a throw, but down play got a bit of a saturating in the midst of that. It's notice San Enves who's in it sing what's to that. It's like still not happy because the Bellons is getting through a vigorous buildup to the away side. Bellons is another one who has to do a Premier League done this season, but has scored 3 in the Champions League. So set DL to fit him. He's got the chances in. It could be this season. Why is it through passing? Have come out the bench. That's the incentive thing. So, great. Ramsey into the position of Hotman. Denver strides out halfway line. Plays it out to the left-hand side. He was quetted off. We let know the ball. Referee played the advantage, but advantage read it for him to minute. This Chaplin in front side the pitch. Simple now for us right at West Ham, and it's Matthews Fernandez. Van Midden sitting at that ball. From over in conversation and a great Charlie was about something or another. The free kick now before the throwing is taken. It's 20 yards from West Ham's right flag. And back to the thrower. And he attempted to similar. And then there's off the defensive player. Taking line for a goal kick. So 10 minutes in the second half done. Here on the StJamesPark Live will be a commentary service to the first Moret. West Ham 2, Newcastle 1. West Ham 30 feet and 4 I missed season. Newcastle and Vanilla win away. It's West Ham there, gonna put their step right. Stangs. Again, going through the Manchester City and Bournemouth coming up after this, but 81% possession was second half so far for Newcastle United. have certainly been up wise the bunch since the break. Haven't yet managed to find a way. Funnestell Fonserio and the it's been beaten by Jacob Murphy's it's straight. Shell, that's right, to Newcastle. Keeps to his own half to Shearer. Shearer turns it left to bottom news. In the centre circle. Line now. Spends it to Schenner. Schleer creeps forward a few yards. It's near touchline in Schiddell. It's the respect to Schenner. Lost one over the top. It's this William Chase takes him his chest, but finds the ball in play. Spins it out at the corner's leg in frustration. Jill Sullett. They're steppy with himself. No goals. One league goal this season. A couple of darlings in the parallel top. We believe Muscular. First of those had Champions League engagement in a week. And Vincent Athletic Club at StJamesPark. They're a big night under the light, some Tyneside. And a pretty decent job in the Champions League so far. Is Joel Minton bursting forward. Stuck by Kilman. We went away some of a fraction, Joel Minton. And Kilman made it no second hesitation to cheer and Muslikas, but Petter, there's something that worse on number of terms in the first half. Chidel though. Gets a run small. Petter is I was going to say man-handed by Tonali. Tonali definitely too holding a piece of the shirt. I'm not quite sure that Ketter needed to sing on the floor and he's bad, but some advantages of in contact these days. Subject is getting ready. The Czech Republic international. So that's some steam perhaps to stand midfield. He's like attempt to reserve this lead. The immediate win, 6 points from safety at kickoff. There come Newcastle LiveMatch. Now Osula looking for space in the penalty areas. Ball's back to Tonali. Keeps down Byrne now, trying to put it into the box. Payne's off. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka goes behind for a corner kick. To Newcastle, but coming in front in the second half. The Newcastle player down. Big Gerald, it's down on the floor. No, it's for Ramsey, in fact, which been touches the just from the substitute said certainly won't want to go off the level from Aston Villa. Film from the left then to Newcastle. 30 seconds before the elbow. He comes right for it in swinner. Well, on top of Alphonse Ariota. It's for being away. It's our touchline for a throw. Fine game, Ariota, so far. Especially it's in the first half. Well, Killam Nursery is coming off for West Ham on the hour. So is Sochet coming on. Well, it's the fans. But not too disgruntled in it being removed. I think he realised these days it's about tickle issues at play near. Just wouldn't be somebody on top in his stead. So, I don't feel like as slowly as he can. It's silvering them international. Looks the proud. 7 sweat from his manager, and Tino Sojek is into the action. 6-year-old Czech Republic international weight size cats, 15 goals. Season with the Hammers, who's pushing up Jules. 200 league appearances. 3 goals in that side. It's some descending to do from this throw. Burn with the Lunds throw, turned away by went to Seka. Throws to Nolly. To Bertie. Northy swings one from right to left into the penalty area. Up in the air. Boy, the Botman, but harmlessly through to Alphonse Areola. Instead, big middle. Play from the back once more. Hoop is Paqueta. To Freddie Potts. Soon shits, didn't that? Century with the area today. Setting up the best steerage from Areola. Or is it Quaison just then? Smona right through a bit. He's not out. It's near side touchline for a throw to Newcastle in mid lane inside the West North. Beyond the fourth way line to Sebi Share. Pelasol tightening the pace of the day in this second half. Stern style. Work 2 guys in 1. So, step up finish on target in the second half. How do you decide? Also, going to 69% possession. It's stereo here again if they can. Shell inside to Jacob Matthew. Runs it across the pitch. Traversed by Somerville, but under Harrison and Feldens. He does it a free kick quickly. Shell, there's it. NT forward for Newcastle. Morgan Morris went to dig the ball into the penalty area, but on it. She's still in his way. Finished back into the left back position, long way somewhat. So checks well forward in my reason, but City's filling for the third role to West Ham. Should be a man's home to England perhaps and let others join in. Until that was his natural habitat, but we'll see how that does. Barrage touches the ball off to Dapman. In the mission near side touchline, and Newcastle light. Child with the cross in, and the way by Tadego to the edge of the penalty area. It's Brayton's of Murphy. Liberty shoots, the shoots wide. Is down wide that one. But it, Melody really get on with that. But he would have blunted to. Is one of his best effort, we might say. So it remains 2-1. So Newcastle certainly probing, and Harvey Barnes is limited his introduction. But sign the ball goes out. There's some last instructions from Miller Chappelle, who on the pitch now, I reckon. Chip. I mean, this Nivies after something of a collision. Well, in the head it. Well, Stead Botman is coming off Harvey Barnes, so still involved in another defensive reshuffle for the visitors. Barnes coming into the fray, so that's a centre back. So Harvey Barnes slide into the equation. That was Rick came onto the field, the black guy, but Jim Suchet certainly 1-0. I don't know whether that's some of the latest impact that is. Stomach pulls you quickly. In a way, with Bethany away with a throw, which Suchet tried to flick on. So, one of that could to Newcastle. Who may eventually back 3 there. Who gives the beam away. Matis Fernandez is bungling over. Would be a free kick to West Ham. Yimson disagrees with the assistant and is entering his grievance, shall we say. What Jones comes across and tells him he did on the game. Was the Newcastle gone to about 3? So just a reshuffled in a different way. Mercy will so that Pim Holland's down the flank. Inton is still in London. airing this grievance in it. Well, Guimaraes just pull across to one of his own player, and who's still thoroughly exercised and giving his Oakland Forces sorry airing. No, he taps him on the shoulder and says, "Look, send him today." In comes the free kick, dangerously. Subject, I think on a touch near post. Hadid managed to get the block in. Loses it again. It's thought for Newcastle, betting here for a premium. Found up thinking that thought it did just organisation of that free kick. It's because of John Hopkins' protests. I think they were caught in a thing where Archie flagged such anything on the ball. So it went straight through and off the glove of Hunt. WestHam played went into the area from the corner, headed back across the goal to Dover by Nick Poe. Dangerous lightning sneeze for Newcastle United. If they skip with down here, wait, perhaps the game would be up for them. Mr. Kim from super high. Be a big ask. Former from the right for West Ham. Coming to the three-quarter mark of the day. Blake Jimson near post. It's gone back to the corner taker. Swans in again towards the further post. Newcastle descended that till underneath it. Now out it's through to Fernandez at West Ham. Sure, that was made descending. Then it's swung in again dangerously. Breaks for Barnes. He uses it out to Somerville. Sherville looking for space from the shot. Phillips find it. Darwin now dinking the line again dangerously. Which break the social hack. There's been threshed into the net. It's Freddie Potts. He's stuck it there. Well, the flag's got up for offside. Where he's done up for an infringement. So you don't know when you can hit no deal. Fox slowly scored his first goal in West Ham colours. Doesn't look like it. Oh, he's crestfallen, the young man. Well, let's see what this is about. Bowen puts the ball in. Is subject offside from the initial pass? Yes, I think he is, and he's shifted the ball into Potsy's path. That's what VAR will be looking at. They'll be looking at whether subject is offside from the pass. And it looks as though he is. What Chans has stopped play. He's just explaining to the players that he's stopped play. Let's bring a little tad. Just explaining to Thomas Socek that it's about whether he is offside or not. Newcastle players hold their breath because, to be honest, if this goes in, they're in trouble. But it's been confirmed, in concern that it is indeed offside. So instead of you were at 2-1, and it West Ham youngster through and through his elation. Well, the cheers done in the throat. They've done West Ham again. Newcastle, and they've started the second half well. It is a bit disjointed in the last few minutes. Can't help but feel that Charlians in this dizzy sit and digging away that free kick hasn't helped them. They've recovered themselves since. Here's Bowen having a shot, which Hopkins down to save away to his left. Waste no time, just up. Bombs the ball out to Dan Byrne. When we far side the Newcastle left. Inside to Tenali. Diagonal pass forward. Finds Guimaraes. She's the great and able to stand this class on this game. Bruno Guimaraes. Hell's showing his cards here and has made 4 substitutions. Side not let us yet with John Linton. Helping the far side. Newcastle left, who's got Byrne with him. Byrne tops it back inside to Guimaraes. Guimaraes disturbing a share. He might have a whack from here. Well, he tried to. His poor charge down was subject. And West Ham. He near try and filter it set. But to know he's in no rush. Just hunts the middle up. He tries to put him under pressure. Right about to kill him. Again into Ariana. The steerance was too convincing. Juve Headed and up concealed, but Fernandez lost out to Tonali. Here's Jacob Ramsey onto the far side. Into Guimaraes. Guimaraes, the 2 foot away forward. Slayed it to the left-hand touchline. And that tip left edge. Here's Sandro Tonali, 20-foot nods now. Dint sits in his right-hand side, and Harvey Barnes takes on his chest. So Chief worked behind him, so good treats to Jacob Murphy. Same for Tonali once more. Then has stayed well forward there. It is Harvey Barnes. Can he get it across the box? Well, he's been bundled over. I'm looking at their system as if they there might be a chance of a penalty. Giving a decision as a corner kick. It's giving confirmation that Sergio Jiv's side. Taken on by Potts, which said me to be from the first replays that we saw. Weiss was Frestfield and Sinfin that and a trickling moment in his life had come. Sure it will come at some stage. Turns out to have the gritty talent of his dad. He'll win a very big career. And then it's just Steve Potts, 99 league bench, who was head. It's going to be a pit error in East London parts. This Fabian Scher. No mercy. And this near side, good challenge. Really good challenge by Juve. West Ham spring forward. Plenty forward here. Bowen tries to take the pass here, and yet partially escapes, and it's away. The penalty area. Reached the slide in. Form to side. Plays it to Wan-Bissaka. Run set that Stearns and the ball. Just turns it short. To Bowen. Owen. To this Fernandez. Another better. Well, that's a brilliant ball by Potts. Wan-Bissaka across. Away by Shan. Match got up belatedly against Wan-Bissaka. The track for the pass by Potts, which was beautifully crafted. Wan-Bissaka had just done a fraction early. Good vision from the young man. Certainly pulled the eye in the last few minutes of this game. 7 to 7 minutes played. We're about to sit Anthony Alenia. So better come into the fray. The ascent from Mixon they might be sacrificed. Or Langer. We'll see. Which point? Thank you to all the great one of his cards. 5 substitutes made in the second half, so he's tried it, but he can. Here's Ramsey. Ramsey running forward. He's on down under challenge, but he's just play on. Across still have the dog. It's that in shit it. Pass to Tonali. No Guimaraes. Seems to be loud wide. Then Mishmal Sidmouth. And this put that to Tonali, centre field. He punch wide to Murphy. Murphy swings the ball in. Dangerous ball. Comes off Wan-Bissaka. It's not gone out. Across by John Linton. What then? It's Barnes floating on the limit box. What's it there, bud? Taken in by Jared Bowen. Bowen showing to play. Then it's a subject. Switch is on his wheels. Change direction in Newcastle kick B. 16 minutes to play. Nunky should lead this one. In from Cher. Way by Kilman. Well, I should. I took the last $17 in Newcastle bench before today. That come in the last inch of an hour to gun. And that's prevented now. So Newcastle ends up playing this the late trial. But this round won't get the Bruce yet. He has a chance to withstand the counter attack. Greater chance in this half, led by Somerville. Bowen to his right. And Fernandez. Fernandez tried to return it to Somerville. Picked up by Wan-Bissaka. blowing. And in the box, so West Ham. Blowing. Well, I thought he'd won a corner. It's a dog kick. Rowan Lisman agreed with himself. Well, rather than a sin had to be a Langer. Jacob Murphy. So, another speedster comes on to replace Newcastle's Dolstorer. And Smearland, Swedish international for BigMatchEPL, of course. Now, if you're on with Summer for Nottingham Forest. It's after the tender corner. Corner, friendly right-hand side for West Ham. 2-1. 13 and a bit minutes to play upon this stadium when the flash ball live on a country service. In comes the corner from Bapetta. One looping one, well caught by Nick Pope. Brings it to the edge of the area. Stands in his way, prevents him releasing it early. One wrong dick, it's been part of Tonali down the line. Getting chased was Ian Ossola. Don't see much of him since it came in at half time. Turn it to Tonali. Here's Guimaraes. Guimaraes to Chill. Up to Rich into the penalty area. Ramsey pins it down, presses it in. Way by Wan-Bissaka. Rashad gets off by Burial Guimaraes. If Ramsey could have killed it down in front of himself, he might have had a crank. Re-step for him properly, so he's stepped across the area. I don't know why he wasn't great. Schuth and Guimaraes was all the thing. Well, don't have another substitution from West Ham. It's going to be Vicencio Somerville. Just in a deep way. And Kyle Peters. He's put her into the fray. A Southampton man. So, indication perhaps that Ningo Spirito Santo is going to try and hold on to what he has. Wing of him would be huge. West Ham United. It's the Nottingham Forest in the league table. Stick in the relegation zone, but third from bottom and set from mid, just 3 points from safety. Simeo's from the PremierLeague today, missed Peter Pereira. It's been our net, did Genty as manager of Inch after 10-game win this run at the start of the season. It was 2 points, you mentioned Molyneux. And there's enough for the zone is to call it quits. Seems a bit ridiculous. Just a few weeks after he's got a members who need sunset for them signing. Just yourself ahead of the money, really. Anyway, and for a strong to that Newcastle, under the quarter flag, Lucas Pitzer is annoyed that it should have failed, you mean, so didn't. Free kick. Well, they'd stick hold of himself because if Sam had the defending to do. 10.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Left here at London Stadium, West Ham 2, Newcastle 1. Long throw from Dan Burn. But either way, the near post. Back to Burn again, who doesn't control the ball properly. Maybe that's it. Seems to tackle that. Wins the back. Here's Guimaraes. Guimaraes now for Langer. And they'll take the end stride. It's deep possession now. There's Tonali. Then one into the area. This was in the way. Back to Tonali again. Joginton. The Italian has once more. Finds a Langer. Tonali. Right out of the line. Guimaraes couldn't take it in. It's the dead ball under a goal kick. And Tonali that's frustrated with himself. The Newcastle fans always travel in great numbers. And from Dell to East London. Had one break, then a double back home again. No points to show for it. This, winless run and the rudder at about to stretch to 8 Premier League games for Eddie Nell's side. They're going to be winner of the European places in the season, would say. From East London with nothing. Best preparation to entertaining athletic club in the Germany's League on Wednesday. We'll just see what happens, and I'm sure it'd be Newcastle facing these are in their drives. Heads away. Maybe perhaps having it again. The Jones sees, I think, rule with a crunching challenge in centre field, and that sends Bowen away. It's playing it across. Here's Fernandez. Shot blocked. Comes up to Carlton Peters. Jeeves now. Rings for Paqueta. He's down LigaInggris. Plunge inside Paqueta. Chip out to Juve. Juve shapes to cross, but feeds it to Carlton Peters. Peters press deflates off so early. Just down to save. He only had 8 minutes more stoppage time. Remaining at the London Stadium on the Freshball Authority Service on this Sunday afternoon. Newcastle 2, West Ham United MatchDay Turkey, Newcastle United 1. Newcastle at the lead early. West Ham turns round by half time. And since the break, lots of prodding from Newcastle. Not really twisted Alphonse Areola in this second period. Where pressure. They might take that chances. Can they do so now? Here's Osula. Osula pins it, but behind Ramsey. And West Ham kick once more. Zero opens near side, so that's thrown. Soon the visitors, which save taken quickly. Bruno Guimaraes. How they could, with a spark from their captain. Stelda Langer. Foster is in for the Langer. Waits in the edge of the box. Sunchet gets it to Bowen. Now Paqueta feeds Bowen again. Payne coming up the left-hand side. It's only got Sunchet out like him at the moment. Wins the ball in field, just she's it off to Fernandez. This Paqueta has got forward. Sunchet lit to touch it on to Bowen. It will reach him. Newcastle cleared to halfway. He was Cheltenham. Well, the Newcastle fans, the West Ham fans should recognise that whether the problems of this league or not West Ham, they've certainly put in plenty of desire and effort today. No craft either. She's been much, much better. It's ended a first win with West Ham boss from the Espirito Santo. There is Derek twist in the tail. Here is Jacob Ramsey stepping away from the challenge of Paqueta. Later dish near touchline where Langer. Ramsey continued his run forward, and he's surely been bumped over from behind by Paqueta. Well, Slave's been up the other way. One he assumed that Ramsey must have run from outside position because it's a bump him to the back of his van. Sam then made another change. Which is Fernandez, he's coming off. And hits a good band. There's the Portuguese. Is going to be replaced by equal Brazilian. So doing certainly one pitch against big. There's a word in the ear of the other. Bridge Stadia places out in the touchline. From Areola with Del Pitt. I mentioned Vance in Plymouth at Boston tomorrow. That's the finance of St. Worms against Everton. Chance are about to second if they can let Moses solid. Money I met at the start. Susie, the most ambitious of Sunderland fans need money on that, but sometimes Sam will correctly. Who's down there? Inside to Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes centre field. So unfortunately, Sam easy at Benpec. You only see 11 minutes. Just over 4 minutes to play. Let's see what does it find Joe Hinton. It's over take them going again for Dolphin. Time is running out for Eddie Dow's men. Well, none of his side started this time the better. And chance to turn the spur in didn't. And they're going to be left with regrets here. They bossed the second half, but they've been cut to arm's length by West Ham side who would have thinned stealthily. Offense Areola. Hit the clearance. Some serenity, I guess, save at 1-0 down. And Jacob Murphy. It's finisher of saying it will have been crucial if West Ham forms a win. Something laver dull. Fan stop. Who's Tinali? Tinali. Well, hit to Dimmerreich. For being shared. No, John Hinton. The team slightly pinched to Harvey Barnes. He's inside the Dimmerreich. The man picked this West Ham regards. King thumbs it across from the left, but it's behind everybody and only else of shot and put away by West Ham. He's got to be better than that. Lynch and races to get another ball from off one of the tons. Tries again again. Gibberlich turns away from Jared Bowen. Spapich chair. Just inside the West Ham half. Sonali. Ramsey. Belenda. Wonder funny, hard to get in behind, of course, and use his pace because West Ham are in low block, defending deep. Here's Chell. Chell up to Barnes. Burn is now in the West Ham finishing constantly. Here's Gimmerreich. Gimmerreich to Barnes. Barnes plays to lose the far post. It's wide. Moves the Dol Pig. Sands of time are running out to Newcastle. It's the ball way back. So with the time from here. Bitch, only back with no points. As somebody can produce something special in the time that remains. I've listened to David Onsell that without it on time. We've had some substitutions, but not much else. Quite sufficient in the 3 of 2 minutes. Not very shot on target in the second half, Newcastle. Little possession of the ball, 75% possession. Not a shot on target against the low block. Just shows you that Newcastle digging goals. Each of sides to Fedorov. Pound for attacking. There's West Ham. That's the privilege of being able to do that in this second half. This runs with the lead. Gimmerreich tosses another ball into the mix. And you go away by Wan-Bissaka. Free by Dons. He has it right on the far touchline. Almost level with the 18-yard area. And to Gimmerreich. Gimmerreich to Tonali. Tonali lets it roll under his foot. Sims it right. The cross and it comes in. Belfod's Ariota hugs on. It's a weak header from Osula. What the most difficult save that Ariota's made this afternoon. Probably the easiest. East Smith on target in the second half from Newcastle. That's they've heard. Alphonse Ariota's had a fine game there. His contribution to this win should not be underlooked. Newcastle have got a free kick. Still inside their own path. 5 minutes of time added on. Miller through it. Until like very long to Newcastle. It feel like forever to West Ham when they've lost 4 out of 4. I don't think this. Old Pross should have it on the near touchline. Ramsey runs in field. Believes it. Fabian Chair. Big Ben has wanted it. The other Big Ben have won it too with the Newcastle. Dan Bird is playing centre forward at the moment with Gimmerreich. Gimmerreich. It's an out wide to Ainsley and Langer. Rank can spin one in. So fair across. Slid it away. It's a free kick. That's on Socek. And that went in where it hurts. And finally Nick Luther, where he's hanging on to it. It looks like he's been bit where it hurts. So it's again about that. If West Ham can hold on and see out these last few minutes at Commander with Fred West Ham, who's chased. Free challenge says he's got to do not get on with it. Shouldn't want anybody delaying the game. West Ham fan in the stands. Bring his second and Boach's top's got his hands on his head. Almost as if he can't bear to sit through what's left. Another thing. Looks like he's chewing his fingernails down to the wick. Owen's broken away here. Can he finish here? Sure about it in. Oh, he's appealing for a quarter. Or is it appealing for something? They're playing on. Two balls on the pitch. It's going to get rid of one. Watch, Ferry's forward, the one that's in play. There you go, seeing what's from Newcastle. The Ranger can't pull it down himself for a dull kick. Which is celebrated by Juve as if it's a goal. She's up Hun fans. Well, the West Ham boys have been looking forward today to greet their supporters at the end of this one. There's been some fiery exchanges between players and fans in the recent past. Philly fans disgruntled with Bournemouth, it should be said, really, but even so, Philly celebrate the first win of the season, first point to own this season. That'd be a big thing. It's just 2 minutes for Newcastle to save this. Well, honestly, in the second half, they're not quite doing so. So, yeah, a little bit out of the blue now, if they were to do so. From Setwood again. Left Chill. It's Marty Barnes. Burns it. Burn out the adult thing. Chill play. It's a throw by the Palace lad to Newcastle. Who's gonna launch your projectile into the Sitchell box. It may be now or never. In Newcastle with a minute now of stoppage time remaining. In comes the throw. Flicked on by Chell. Harry Eldon has it. Stoyed on top of it. It seems to have hurt himself in the process. Or he says he's got cramp, which is why he's down on the ground. Someone looks at the referee and says, surely that's taking time out of the game. Well, that word goes with things that I think we've just added the time on. It's taking the deal away from Ariola. And Edwin clears the treatment for the West Ham goalkeeper. Also is trying to get Ariola up off the ground. He's irritated. Chewing says Tiga's security guard for his goalkeeper. Shove it also up. There was no love lost there. On the still down. Surely this will just add time on the plot, will it not? At Yvel. Inning to wonder where his lips in on the road is going to come from. It will be a very uncomfortable result for the away side. Certainly medicine for Nuno Espirito Santo in this West Ham team. Almost rider from Mariana into the Newcastle half. Then it's Sinwood by Kilman. It's almost Sodje. Gets him short of play. We've played the 5 minutes, but we had the delay over Areola, so we probably still got over a minute to play. It's now or never. A Hail Mary from Fabian Scher. Instability and it's headed away by West Ham and defended their 18-yard box heroically in this second period. Ketzel running it down the line. You can draw a foul from Jacob Ramsey. Well, he's running off the pitch and belted it down the touchline. Whoa, and Jacob Ramsey is shoved Paqueta over. Well, that's going to be trouble for Jacob Ramsey. He's booked. Paqueta he booked for delaying the game. He looks at the referee and says, why? Referee says he delayed the game, and he's quite right. Paqueta's pretending that he doesn't understand why he's been booked. Well, he should know. Well, Jacob Ramsey just let his frustration get the better of him. He don't know why he's been booked as well. So, booking the piece. Guimaraes is but suggesting to referee Jones that the game has been further delayed. Throw slightly taken. Walsh, one last ball into the box. He's launched it to the edge of the area, fed it away by Tillman. Bowman does it. He's got a man outside him. They could seal it at West Ham. Way back into point. Bowman shoots. Right on, it's followed in by Soucek. Soucek has wrapped it up for West Ham. With pipes, a weak shot from behind. Hits at a path of Soucek. He stabbed it out here. And West Ham, but the first wedding on the Spurs of Sorrento. And their first points on in stadium this season. Thomas Soucek. The Chechens in their school. They sealed the points. Bowen was played in. Punt didn't deal with the shot properly. Swelled through his legs. It hadn't crossed the line. But Soucek had the presence of mind to follow up and step up the ball over the line. Newcastle are beating Middlesbrough Sorrento. Does a Portuguese jig of joy in the technical area. And West Ham have come from behind to claim 3 massive points at the London Stadium. Well, Rob Jones is listening into something from the VAR hub. Said the thumb's not yet been awarded. Like 8 minutes of time added on now. We were surely in the last set of the game anyway. So, whether this foul stands or not, West Ham will surely have won it because there'll be barely time to restart. But for some reason, there is a dispute about this though. What Jones has pinned to the boy. He's explaining something to Bruno Guimaraes. I think he's probably said to him, even if this doesn't kill, and been a blow to the whistle. Wait to signal what happened. Double is given. 3-1. A fist of triumph. Neno Spurs are Sorrento. Wait. They were just chipped in the offside from the ball played to Bowen, but I was confident he was always on. Nick Pogue put a fairly good game. Held the weak shot to a statement, and Soucek lay in pay. Well, Nuno Espirito Santo celebrates, and the final whistle has gone. Let the London Stadium. West Ham have won. Only a second win of the season, and their first under Nuno Espirito Santo. Their first points at the London Stadium at the 6th attempt this season. And let's just say, the home side have deserved that. They fell behind 6 minutes into the game. Gerald Bowen had just struck the post at one end, and they didn't touch the ball again before Jacob Murphy shot, but Ryerson passed the right hand of Alfonso Areola. And they made a brilliant stop to deny Murphy a second, and West Ham, we were initially awarded a penalty in the thing, both the league by VAR, because it was actually a brilliant challenge by Chow on Bowen. They didn't allow that to upset them. The home side, they kept coming, but they levelled through a free kick from Lucas Paqueta and then snatched the lead on the stroke of half-time with one goal from a ball across the box by Aaron Wan-Bissaka that went in off the boot of Botman, or then touching his goalkeeper. And then in the second half, Newcastle fussed and fussed to really test Harry Odder in the line that they had in the first. West Ham defended for their lives, particularly in the 18-yard box, from balls into it, and deep into stoppage time. They broke away. Ball was fed to Jared Bowen. This shot straight the clutches of Mick Bowe, went through the goalkeeper's legs, and Thomas Subject followed up just to lift West Ham one place in the table to 18th, and still victory. Newcastle still without the way win this season, and make Premier League run trips without a win as well. They will have to find a solution to that if they're going to challenge for Europe. For Nuno Espirito Santo, a first step in what is, you would think, already a relegation battle, and perhaps a step towards safety. Pretty bubbles are in the air again at the London Stadium. This finish, West Ham 3, Newcastle United 1. Thanks for your company and for enjoying the drama with us. See you again soon. They were very good. So